The Buckeyes will be taking on the Indiana Hoosiers, and we're happy to be joined here on 105.7 The Zone by Indiana head coach Tom Allen. Coach Allen, we really appreciate you taking a few minutes. I will tell you now, I'm an Ohio State guy now because this is where I went to school and I've started my career, but I grew up in Valparaiso, Indiana.
Oh,
and
wow.
I have a brother that swam at Indiana, was a team captain there, so I do have a soft spot for your Hoosiers who are coming in here on Saturday.
Good to hear.
Tell me a little bit about this team you got off to the 4-1 start. And Clay Hall is with me, Matt McCoy. We were just talking that the Michigan State game, there was a crazy deflected interception. I mean, you really had opportunities in that game. But tell me a little bit about your team and how you feel like you're playing heading into this big one.
Well, you're right. We did. We had our opportunities against Michigan State, and things didn't go our way. But we learned from that. We're a very young football team, and I just know that we're growing each and every week. The guys have really come together, worked extremely hard this offseason. We knew we were going to lose. We lost 8 starters off our defense and had a core of our offense back, but lost some good players. And so a lot of unknowns and question marks coming into the season, but just excited about where we are. We've grown each and every week, had a good non-conference schedule. Obviously not the same as playing in the Big Ten each week, but took care of business at that point and then find ourselves 4-1 now ready to head to Columbus. So once again, just a team that's growing together. We want to play a tough, hard-nosed defense and very efficient offense to be able to move the chains, get the ball in the end zone, and score points.
You know, I was looking at your roster, and this is typical at Indiana through the years, but you have 14 kids from the state of Ohio. Does this game take on any more significance? And a lot of them are in your two deep. Does it take, including Peyton Ramsey, does it take any more significance on these guys playing in the stadium?
Oh, I think so. I think those guys are all, Ohio kids that may have had that dream of playing there, and that didn't happen. And I think that they have a lot of pride in wanting to go back home and to represent, and I know that's something that our guys feel. And Peyton's the leader of our offense and one of the leaders on our team, and he's a Cincinnati kid. So, yeah, we got several guys from there, always have. It's been a tradition, and that will continue. We believe strongly in the state of Ohio and how many good football players you have there in that state, and we're going to recruit that state very hard each and every year.
Coach, it's Clay Hall. I, too, have some Indiana ties, lived in Indianapolis for a while, went to Eastwood, I believe it was Eastwood Junior High.
Okay.
Dick the Bruiser's kid wrestled for us.
Oh, good.
At any rate, what does it take to sustain success? And I know you're fighting for that every day because Bill Mallory had some success, Kevin Wilson had some success, and I noticed it feels like to me, because I noticed you coached at Ole Miss, is it the same sort of recruiting ground that you're fighting for 10 or 12 or 15 kids in the state who are D1 material? And obviously you're recruiting the Midwest, but it's not like you have 30 or 40 or 50, or maybe I'm wrong. Indiana's certainly more populous than Mississippi, but is there some similarities there?
There is. You think about, Ole Miss being in the SEC West and the way that we had to fight and claw and scratch to become relevant down there and the way we had to recruit and how hard it was and who you're going against. And you got a relatively small state as your home base to work from. And there you had 2 SEC schools in the same state, which made it challenging for sure. And everybody else would kind of come in after your top guys. And up here, you got a handful of guys every year that are Big Ten caliber players in Indiana and the whole – Big Ten comes to recruit you. The SEC now comes to recruit here, especially in the Indianapolis area. And so very similar challenges, and we just have to approach it. And to me, it's the way you sustain it is recruiting at a high level. And the challenge is you need to show you're making progress, and that happens on the field to be able to continue to recruit well. We got a really good recruiting class this past year, and a lot of those freshmen are playing. Had a really solid class the year before that, and a lot of those guys are starting to play now. And so that just has to continue. We have to continue to recruit well and continue to develop our players. I always tell there are 2 key things we have to do in Indiana. You have to be great evaluators of talent and great developers of talent. And that's what we have to do as a staff, and that to me is the key for us to get where we want to be and then sustain that success.
Visiting with Tom Allen, Indiana head football coach. Of course, the Hoosiers coming in to take on the Buckeyes, 4 o'clock Saturday on Fox 28. Coach, how difficult is it to exist in the Big Ten East when every year you've got to play Ohio State and Michigan State and Penn State? It is as good of a a league, a division in a league, probably as there is in college football. Do you embrace that challenge? Talk about having to navigate the Big Ten East.
Well, there's no question it's a tremendous challenge, but I tell you what, it really does create a different sense of urgency, in our season, and our guys know exactly who we're going to play. And in recruiting, we challenge guys we want to find guys that want that challenge and embrace that challenge. And I want a coaching staff that embraces that and realizes that's part of who we are. And that's what we sell in recruiting is you're going to come here and play against the very best in the country, and be able to go to those places and play in those venues and have them come here and to be able to build something special. And it's happened in the past. It's been a while though. And I don't run from those facts. And I tell them in recruiting, we talk about it, and we want to find guys that have the courage and confidence to want to come here and help us break through and do things that haven't happened here in a long, long time. And so the bottom line is yes, we play a great, great schedule, and that's not going to change. And so those teams aren't going anywhere. They've been good for a long, long time, and that's going to continue. And so we hope and believe that the rigor of our schedule makes us a better football team. Now, the challenge is you got to be able to survive it, and through injuries and through the course of a season, that can be hard, and history shows that. But at the same time, we've been very, very close, and we now have to find ways to finish and to break through those barriers that have been in front of us for many years now. And I'm excited about where we are and where we're headed.
This is an unusual thing to say, Coach, but I enjoy, when I watch Indiana, I enjoy watching you coach because you're so high energy. And you bring it every week, and you expect that obviously out of your players. But where does that come from? Is that just how you've always been? Did you play for a coach that was like that, and that's the style I want? Where did your energy that you coach with come from?
I just think that's just who I am. And I'm somewhat of a quieter person off the field in some ways. Matter of fact, I've had people that knew me when I was younger, and they're like, man, I've never seen you or never heard you talk that much or feel that way, when the whole time I was around you. But, I was a very intense competitor internally on the field. But ever since I've coached, from the high school days all the way up, I've always just coached with so much energy. I love what I do. I really, truly feel this is why I was created, was placed on this earth to be a coach and impact lives through this great sport. And so I don't have to give myself a pep talk every day. If you talk to our players, I'm this way in practice, I'm this way in the games. Every single day I want to make sure that I'm consistent in who I am. And I really do enjoy what I do. And I love the players and I love the game and I enjoy it. And I just want to be me, and I think that's important. And I get, the role I'm in now as a head coach. You have to understand that role and what that means. But at the same time, I don't ever want to cease to be the person that got me to where I am and continue to be the person that I know in my heart I am every single day.
Coach, it's obvious you do enjoy it. And maybe it's like us after a great show, but when you were kicking trash cans that night at Memorial Stadium after winning, and maybe it was a breakthrough, maybe, you put so much into it, and we do on this side in a different way. And maybe if you weren't the Indiana head coach, you could enjoy watching Ohio State football. But I just saw that quote this week about it must have come from your presser about OSU's talent, the way they execute. It sounded like a little bit of a bromance there.
Well, I have a lot of respect for coaches that put a great product on the field that's really well coached, especially teams that are really talented. I really respected what Alabama did when I was down in the SEC. And, they were tough to play every year, but they weren't just talented. They were talented and well coached. And that means you got to be great recruiters, and then you got to be great teachers and coaches during the week. And so I respect what they do, and I just think that they do it at a very high level. And there's no question we're chasing what they're creating and the kind of environment they've created there and the success they've had for so many years and the opportunity to be able to compete at the highest level. So I do respect it tremendously. And, talking about the Virginia game, I kind of wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I was just so appreciative of the fans. That was a monsoon rain. I don't think it ever stopped the entire warm-up during the game, the whole time. And our student section never left. They stayed there from start to finish and cheered us on. And so as soon as the game finished and I shook Coach Mendenhall's hand, I went sprinting over there to thank them staying and gave him high fives. And so it was really more of a thank you than it was a celebration. But the trash can just kind of happened to be in my way. So unfortunately, I attacked it as well.
Well done.
Yes, well done. And Coach, we really appreciate you taking a few minutes. I know how busy you are, and good luck to you on Saturday.
Well, Matt and Clay, thank you so much. I sure enjoyed it. Have a great day.